Hi guys, so today we are discussing another exercise of the leg lift series, which is top leg circles. Again guys, so the leg lift series is great for challenging the endurance and strength of your leg muscles, especially your abductors. Adductors also work, and also your glutes. But also remember guys that even though movement and mobility might be what is seemingly the purpose of an exercise in Pilates, but stability is always underlying, right? So in this exercise as well, even though it's the leg that's moving, the focus of the exercise, the essence of the exercise, and what we don't want compromised is going to be the stability of the lumbar and pelvic region. So starting position is on the mat sideways. Zarva is already in her starting position, which is super convenient for us. Guys, remember that you can have one elbow flexed and under your head to support your cervical spine. But as you lie in this position sideways on your mat, please make sure that you're not sinking your rib cage into the mat. You want to have that natural arch on your side that you would as you're standing. So your rib cage has to be within the bounds of your pelvis. It has to be centralized within the bounds of your pelvis. So please make sure your abdominals are working so that you've got that natural arch between the side of your body and the mat. From here then, Zarva, I'm just going to ask you to inhale, and as you exhale, lift and hold one leg. That's it. Hold this leg here, point your toes, right? And since we're doing circles, as you inhale, start drawing a circle towards the front. Exhale, bring it towards the back and down to the starting position. So give me 3 more, Zarva. Try to make your circles bigger, but control the movement so that your lumbar and pelvic region doesn't move. There is going to be a slight movement, guys, because this is what we call dynamic stability, that of course your leg is moving. So it's not like you can hold your pelvis and your lumbar region completely still, but it cannot be too much. It has to be stable. The muscles have to be working as your abductors also work to make those circles, right, in the air. Now the circle that I want Zarva to make, Zarva, just give me 2 more, is a big circle, because I want my focus is on hip mobility. The bigger the circle is, actually, the more mobility we're working in the hip joint, and also the more stability of the lumbar and pelvic region is going to be challenged. And actually, if I ask Zarva to make smaller circles, so Zarva, if you can just shift to smaller circles, so point your toes and make circles in a cookie jar. It's like, you've got a small cookie jar and you're trying to trace circles in that jar. Now Zarva is making smaller circles. This is challenging the endurance and strength of her abductors and her glutes more, right? But it's working less into the mobility of the hip, and balancing in this position might also be a little bit easier. Stability through the core and pelvis might be a little bit easier. Both versions of the exercise are useful. So Zarva, you can relax and exhale, bring your leg down. That's it. Both versions of the exercise are useful, guys. We do both versions in our classes, but it's just important to know what the difference is. If you're somebody who's really stiff in the hip joint and maybe needs to work on hip mobility, then maybe the version that is better for you is where you make the circle bigger. So you actually, move that ball of your the head of the femur that sits into the socket of the hip joint and mobilize through that joint. But as I said, both versions have their own benefits.